Welcome back to Norton Man Reviews, everyone. I'm John Norton, and we are looking at Astonishing X-Men. We're at issue number 4. This was the series that picked up after the Grant Morrison run of New X-Men and brought on Joss Whedon and John Cassady as writer and artist and telling a new story. And I'm enjoying it so far. The X-Men team is Wolverine, Cyclops, Emma Frost, Beast, and Kitty Pryde so far, and they're trying to be more of a superhero team like the Avengers and Fantastic Four. Not just taking care of mutant problems, but taking care of like issues around the world that don't deal with specifically mutants. In the midst of that, they met with this one guy, this villain Ord. I guess he's an alien. Not sure what his deal is yet. And there was this doctor that was working and announced a mutant cure. Beast went and confronted her about it. He got a sample. Wolverine was pissed that he had it. Wolverine wanted him to destroy it because, like, you know, the students are going to start talking about it. They're going to start wanting it. It's going to create all sorts of problems. But then Beast realized that they were working on... They needed samples from a mutant body, and that they had a dead mutant. And like, you know, Beast was like, why can nothing ever stay dead? And Cyclops said, Jean, you know, like they think it's Jean Grey, because she just recently died. So, here's where we pick up, and there's this weird, I guess, flashback. There's Ord. He's in this weird arena. He's fucking badass, apparently, I guess. And he's just monologuing to himself. He was chosen for this great mission to come here to this world that he hates. And he's mad at the X-Men for some reason, and I don't think we know what yet. But he's been working on this for a long time, and it says his patience is going to be rewarded. So we cut to the X-Men and the Cyclops here. Like, what was that, a Dutch angle? Like, its camera's tilted. And he says, Jet's prepped, and he says the others are coming, and Cyclops, you didn't say anything to them, like, meaning Jean. He's like, no. All I said was it was a mutant being used for tissue samples. I didn't specify. And Cyclops, like, because we probably won't find anything conclusive, and Emma chimes in like a warm body. She's not happy that, you know, Cyclops thinks it's Jean Grey, and who knows how he feels about that. So Kitty and Wolverine show up, and they're like, all right, let's go. And he's like, this is recon. We won't know what we're dealing with till we get there. And Wolverine's like, we know what we're dealing with, Summers. Animals, which is funny because it shows him and Beast. So they go to this laboratory. Kitty's on point, they say. So they're just trying to be sneaky. They're not breaking in. They're trying to just get in, get out, find out what we need to do. So they make their way in. Kitty, like, brings them in one at a time. I think she disrupts some of the cameras here. She phases in White Queen. Like, that sucks. That's unnerving. Wolverine took out some guards. And Cyclops says, we work every floor. I like this shot of Cyclops with the shading. It's really good right there. John Cassady is a good artist. So you got a couple of students. I forget who they are. And they're talking about the cure and what could happen with it. And they're talking about, you know, Kitty Pryde. They're talking about White Queen. Just chit-chatting until they run into Ord. And he's dangerous. He took out their whole main team by himself. And he's just there. It's like the minute's up. So it cuts to Scott and Emma, and they're arguing. And she, like, knows how he feels about Jean, and she saw how he reacted when he thought it was her that they're looking for. And she's just like, he says that she's a part of me. It comes with the package. You know that. And she says, the woman was no good for you. And she doesn't like Jean Grey. They didn't get along when she was alive, and she definitely doesn't like her now. So they're still looking, and Kitty Pryde is like, this is weird. And she's like, it's metal right here, but I can't find the end. There's no said basement. It's just like this wall just keeps going down and down and down. Like, I don't know how far it goes. So she's like, you stay here. I'm going to go check it out. So she phases through. Beast and Wolverine are looking through. They're chit-chatting about the cure. I mean, they went to blows last time, so they're just kind of like having a moral debate about whether the cure is a good idea or not. And then Beast, he's like, hold it, you catch that scent? I guess Beast can sniff like Wolverine. And he's like, yeah, female, dead. And here's Kitty. She's still phasing through the wall or the floor. And it's really like a long way down. So then we go to Ord at the X-Mansion. And he looks like he's annoyed. It's like, you're sure they're not here? Like, no, I saw the X-Plane take off like 2 hours ago, and you don't know where they went. A mission or something? They don't really tell us stuff like this. So he's frustrated. It's like, you want to leave a message or something? It's like, or you could come back when they're here. And like, we're not X-Men. He's like, yeah, but you two are mutants. Yeah, but we're not cool or anything. He's like, you've helped me. You have my thanks for that. And yes, I will leave the X-Men a message. So like, he's gonna like fucking murder them. That's the message. And this girl, I don't know her name. This guy's name is Wing. That's what she's calling him. She goes, Wing, get out. And she has this like weird psionic exoskeleton. Punches this guy because she knows like he's gonna kill him. Like, we got to do something. But he's not too worried about her. He's like, you startled me. That's it. And this guy Wing, he flies through this skylight or whatever you call it, crashes through. That's a small shot of him crashing up. And he's up there by himself. He's like, I can't just leave her there. And then suddenly Ord's there. Did he teleport? He says, I was talking to you, boy. And he injects him with something. I mean, that's what he had back here. Like some kind of weird injectors. He's like, now you will give them a message that the mutant abomination will never be a threat to the break world. And he drops him. That man was not meant to fly. So I'm guessing, like, this guy can fly, but he injected him with a cure, and now he doesn't have power, so he's going to fall, and he's probably going to fall to his death. So then we go to Cyclops, again, with the shadows and everything. Such a good drawing. He says, who is it? And there's Wolverine and Beast. That's the scent of the dead body. It's like, we don't know her. But it looks like she took her own life. There's some cuts on her wrist. Or someone made it look like she did. It's like, either way, this is sickening that they're experimenting on mutants to get this cure. It's all happening here, people. The cure, these little experiments, will one well-aimed missile from the jet, and we all sleep easy. Like, we can just like take out this place right now and get rid of this cure. Cyclops says, we can't just torch it. We don't know anything. He says, this can't be the only body. I like this picture of Cyclops right there. It's so cool looking, right? That's also cool, but something about that shot of Cyclops with the lighting overhead. And he's like, Wolverine's like, why not? What are we after here? He's like, you two better tell me what the fuck's going on. Like, Wolverine's catching on, like, they're not telling them everything. And then Emma's like, I can't reach Kitty. I don't think she's in the building. It's like, where would she go? And then she, like, keels over in pain. She says, my girls, the Stepford Cuckoos, like, they're weird, like identical triplet telepaths. They're calling me so loud I can't make it out. She says, we have to get back. And then suddenly they're attacked. by these soldiers or guards. And Cyclops got tagged somehow, and that's what he says. And he's about to... He says, I'm just tagged, sound off. And they say, don't make a move. Or it says, make a move, just one move. And she turns into her diamond form. She's fucking pissed. There are these guys come in with these crazy-ass armor, with these crazy-ass guns. Then it cuts to Kitty Pryde, and she finally makes it through the wall. And now she's in this like weird area, like there's everything's enveloped in red. She looks weird structure. Must have been 100 feet solid, and it felt wrong, she says. Whatever I phase through, it's not from this planet or anyone I've been to. The molecular structure is just different. She's like, I hope it didn't do some permanent damage to me. But she's like, I got a job to do. So she's still sneaking through. Sees these guys here, and they're saying, Alpha Team has hostiles contained upstairs. No sign of breach, but we're on red just in case. No one gets near the subject. So, Kitty's like, alien or not, there's not a lock that I can't pick. So she phases her hand into this lock, is able to open the door, gets in there. But right away, these guys are on her. And it's like, we have a hostile, drop her. So they shoot. And it hits her, but it goes right through because she phases, right? And it bounces off something. Cling. Something in the darkness, but that's such a cool little shot of the bullet like bouncing off something, looks like metallic, making a spark and like having this little piece of light reflecting off of it. And here's the money shot. And there's Colossus. Long thought dead Colossus. There he is. His metallic body in all its magnificent glory. Cool fucking image. The shadows, the shading, the anatomy, her in front of him. And she sees him, they give each other a look, and she is just in goddamn shock. And he comes charging forward. She phases, thank God. He runs right through her, and she's still, like, she puts her hand on her chest, like, oh my God. And she's still in shock as he's just, like, taking out these guys behind her. Smashing a face into a wall. Such a good drawing. Look at this drawing. He must use reference of some kind, right? And she's like she says his name Peter, like, hey, Peter, and he's just going on kind of a little rampage. She says, stop. And like, look at his face there. Please stop, she says. You'll kill them. And he does stop. He comes to a realization. And he goes out of his metallic forms. He says, Katya, Kitty, I guess, in Russia. And he drops to his knees and he says, oh God. Finally, and he grabs onto her. He's like kind of breaking down in tears. God, am I finally dead? He asks. And that's how it ends. So, for those who don't know, Colossus had been thought long dead. He had died, oh God, I don't know, like years ago. I don't know how many issues ago or what happened, well before the Grant Morrison run. And in the 90s, there was this concept, this virus called the Legacy virus that was put out into the world by Strife from X-Force, who was a clone of Cable. He was a big villain in the Executioner song. I have that. Should I do that sometime? Yeah, we'll get to it. But at some point, Strife unleashed this virus onto the world, which specifically targeted mutants, right? It was just killing mutants right and left. I think one human got infected, Moira McTaggart, but she was just working on the virus so closely, she got infected. But infected his little sister, Ileana, who later grows up into be a crazy magic person. But at the time, she was just like his kid's sister, Ileana. She was a mutant, and she died because of the virus, like this little girl. And it just like made him so sad. He went to a crazy depression. And he eventually had joined up with Magneto and his acolytes. He was with them. He was never evil. He just needed to be away and do something. He left Magneto in that life, and he came back to the X-Men at some point. But they finally figured out a cure for the legacy virus. But the only way to get the cure out there is that they had to inject the cure into a mutant, which would end up killing that mutant. But that would create the cure finally and ultimately and get rid of the legacy virus. And Colossus, remembering his dead sister, from that virus, he took it upon himself and he injected the virus into him. And as soon as he used his powers, it killed him. So he injected it into him, and then he turned metal, and it created the cure, stopped the legacy virus, but he died. So he was gone for that long, long time. And now he shows up here. And now he's asking, am I finally dead? So I don't actually remember how they explain his coming back and what had happened. I guess we're going to find out in the next issue. So, but this was a crazy moment. Like, that I don't think any of us saw coming, right? There was no indication besides like a dead mutant, and like they were making you think it's Jean Grey, and this was just a cool moment. They shoot at Kitty, it goes through her, bounces off this metal, and it's Colossus. Very well done. Good job, Joss Whedon. You know how to craft a story. So there we go. That's it. Thank you for watching. What do you think about this run of Astonishing X-Men so far? Let me know in the comments. John Cassady is an excellent artist. I don't care how many dumb drawings he's done lately. Only the one, right? But it's really good stuff. So thank you for watching. Leave a like if you would. And as always, I'll see you in the next video.